Hey, we're Snappers, this is Tortimer the Gray. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Gray version. This is the first and a half? This is the second episode of this series that you guys have had this week. And it's all thanks to this gentleman, Mr. Nougat. And he reminded me, well, not reminded me, but he informed me that apparently even though the replay links that I had saved were broken, that there was still a way to recover those replays, which is kind of shocking, but hey, whatever. He provided me a link, and I was able to actually go in and recover all of the replays from last week. And so, you know, to be fair, for those of you guys who came out, I wanted to go ahead and just put this episode out for you guys. I figured I'd jump in here and go ahead and record the great battles that you guys did last week. Several of you, including Nougat, really kicked my butt. My team had some serious issues with fairy types, and so in round 2, I was going to try and remedy that. But it's only fair that a true representation of how this challenge went goes up on YouTube. And so, as opposed to redoing Psychic Gym this week, we are going to be taking this as it is, and you guys are going to be representing as you did. And so there we go. We were able to recover the battles, and so we don't have to redo the Psychic Gym this week. And so at the end of this episode, we will get to go ahead and re-roll and see what we're going to be doing in our new tier. I believe we're moving into UU after this episode. So that may, I understand that may take you guys a little bit to rework your teams, because this episode's going out really late on Sunday. Maybe even early Monday, and so I understand if you guys need a little bit of extra time. I'm not gonna be able to give you extra time, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, let's jump into the next one, shall we? Thank you so much, Nougat, for kicking my butt this week with that stupid fairy type Grand Bull in the Psychic Gym. But well, I said you guys didn't have to do pure monotype, and many of you took me up on that, and yeah, it didn't work out so well for me this week. Hey, let's check out the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go up against Epic Big Nick, and this is a first-time challenger this week, if I remember correctly. And he came at us also. He's got this fairy-type monstrosity out here on the field. And then he had a couple of other... well, he's got the Audino, who's not exactly a psychic type either. We've got the fairy typing going there in its mega form. But Boots comes in, is able to get rid of that monstrosity. And then this thing comes in. It protects the U-turn, and then Boots is going to use it the next turn to get on out of there. Depth Charge comes in, which is going to force out the Psychic Fire type and bring back in Uxie, I believe, is that one? Yes, Uxie. So Depth Charge is going to continue to throw up stuff. The Audino comes in, Mega Evolves, gets that Fairy typey going. You're going to get the toxic damage up, although it's got the Heal Bell, so it's going to be able to avoid all of that. One thing I want to cover with you guys, I said I'm not going to really be able to give you guys extra time this week, and so I wanted to go ahead and it's going to be difficult. So Thursday marks American Thanksgiving, which is a holiday where I'm at, and for this year at the very least, well, really any year, I'm either going to be spending time with my family or I'm going to be spending time with my wife's family. So whereas normally on Gray version this series, I would be able to give you guys until Thursday lunch my time in order to get your battles in. I'm not going to be able to do that this week. I can't give you extra time even though this episode's coming out late. So this next week's challenge is going to have to be kind of an abbreviated one, and I know that many of you may not be able to get in on it, and I apologize for that. We'll see what the role ends up being. If it ends up being something like, if we get another gym like immediately after, we're not going to do it. We'll have a nice, rival battle or route battle or something hopefully come up, but we'll see what that ends up being when we get to the end of the episode and we randomize all that. But I realistically cannot give you guys past Wednesday lunch. Even though you're getting this episode out a little later, because I didn't figure out until later that I could actually record this week's episode for real. Again, thank you to Nougat for letting me know that. But even though this is going up almost a day later than you might normally see it, I actually have to take time away from you in order to get the episode out this week. So we'll see at the end of the episode. But I want to thank you guys. I wanted to get that out early in the episode, just so that if those of you guys, if you don't watch all the way to the end or something, which I don't know, you can't really get away without watching to the end, because that's when I give you the information for the next week. But I just want to get that out there. So thank you, Epic Nick, for coming out and for having a great battle this week. The tie. Well, no, you won the battle. Yeah, you won that. Oh, but yeah. So. Yeah, it was almost a tie. Deer fainted, and then his guy fainted. It was a close one. Thank you so much for an amazing battle this week. I hope to see you participating in future weeks, Nick. And let's check out what the rest of you guys had in store. Here we go. Alrighty, guys. Here we went with He Cant, and He Cant had a fun little psychic team here. He had a little bit of variance there with the Bennett, so he's got the Mega Bennett, which is going to come out eventually here. Boots leading off, doing pretty good work. This week for the Psychic Gym, I did switch out Brick Break. Woo! Brick Break. I switched out Brick Break on Boots for U-Turn, which ended up proving to be a little bit useful there. I kept Depth Charge in, and then I switched out Fumesy for Rhinox. In the RU tier, Rhinox, who was our Rhydon in the last tier, NU, in this tier, Rhyperior, its evolution. So I figured Fumesy wasn't going to be super useful to us as a Poison's physical wall in the Psychic Gym. I figured he wouldn't do a whole lot for us. So I switched in Rhinox just because he was a former team member who did pretty good work, and we used him pretty extensively in the NU tier. And then I figured we'd give his evolution a shout here in the last effort of RU for this series. Depth Charge doing pretty good work, getting some damage off on the Mega Bennett here. I think he's going to be going down, to the Shadow Claw here, which is all right. Boots is going to be able to come in, unfortunately taking the Will-O-Wisp, but still going to have enough power to finish off the Mega there. So Mega goes down. We're going to throw up the knockoff, which is not going to be enough to kill 3PO there. And they're going to be able to get the light screen up, which, not the one I would have gone for, given that it's a special defense, and most of my guys are physically attackers. But Boots is going to be able to last long enough to do reasonable damage to a couple of Pokemon at least, before it's going to go down to Burn, Life Orb, and or some other attack, whittling away its health. So Deer then comes in to clean up the Glade there. Rhinox is going to come in at that point. The superpower is going to land from the Malamar there. We're going to hit with the Mega Horn, though, which is going to easily one-shot the Malamar. And then Jinx comes in, Ice Beams the Rhinox, which is not going to do... we're not going to be able to stand up to that at all. And then Law comes in with the knockoff, finishing off the Jinx. So thank you so much, He Cant, for a fun battle this week. I really appreciate your continued support, as always. And yeah, let's see what the rest of you gym trainers had in store for us. Here we go. Alright guys, here we went against Gym Trainer Scad, and Scad led off with the Link the Glade. And the Fake Out does pretty good damage to that before Boots comes in and gets a crit U-turn. So does pretty good damage to the Slacking as well, or the Slowking. Slacking is something else. And then the Deer is going to come in with the Volt Switch and finish off Glade. So between U-turn and Volt Switch, doing some pretty good damage there with Boots and Deer this episode. The Fake Out not doing a ton to Henry, but the knockoff certainly is. And Henry loses his leftovers there, although it has the Slack Off, which is going to allow it to get some health back. And then we're going to switch, we're going to U-turn into Deer again. Deer taking that Scald, not getting a whole lot out of it on Scad's end, and then we do the Volt Switch straight into Andromeda. which is going to get it to about half health, where it gets the toxic orb damage going. Rhyhorn uses Rhyperior, Rhinox, uses Mega Horn, but it misses, so we're going to switch out in lieu of the water type there. Bring in Depth Charge, who's going to be able to handle pretty much anything that Slowking has to offer. Then Deer comes in, he's going to survive a Psychic there, and we throw up the Thunderbolt there, which is going to do pretty decent damage to Henry, although the Slack Off is really going to get it back up in health. So throwing up those Thunderbolts, but not going to be enough before the Skull's going to take it down. At that point, Boots comes in, we throw up the Fake Out, or no, we go for just straight for the knockoff there, because that's going to do more damage, and we're faster anyway, so we don't really need the priority of Fake Out there. So Hypno's going to go down pretty quickly there, and then Lol's going to come in, go down to a Dazzling right away. That happened to Lol a couple of times this episode. The fairy typing really didn't do a whole lot of good for us. Boots goes off with the knockoff there, finishes off Mila, and Andromeda's going to come back in. Boots is going to get the knockoff off again, and Andromeda's going to go down. Henry comes back in, going to take another knockoff. So the speed issues there, not going to help out Scad's team a little bit. But then Boots is going to die to its own Life Orb damage. Rhinox is going to go down immediately to his Solar Beam, which is less than ideal. But then Depth Charge comes in, who's our special wall. Going to land a nice critical super effective Scald there. And we're going to continue to take Psychics. That Scald's going to come in, though, and finish off the Fennekin Final Evolution. What is it? What is this thing called? Hold on. The Delphox. There we go. Delphox. So thank you so much, Scad, for this week. I know you were, based on your comment on today's earlier episode, you were looking forward to a rematch because Psychic is your favorite type, and I know you weren't super pleased with how you did, but you know, you got us down to 2 Pokemon, and that was with us getting to plan against you. So I wouldn't take it too hard. But thank you so much, Scad, for your battle this week. I truly appreciate your continued patronage. And let's see what the last couple of you guys had in store for us. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go with the last Gym Trainer for today. We let off with Boots, as we tend to do, going up against the Cofagrigus, and the Cofagrigus is going to both Mummy us and Will-O-Wisp us, so Boots gets crippled a little bit there. Then they've got the Bane Split and everything else going on. Boots really not having a whole lot of power going there, but at this point, under half health and burned, we're just going to go for it. Really no reason to switch something else in to potentially take damage. Until we hit the U-turn there, decide to come out, bring Depth Charge in. Depth Charge takes a hard knockoff there, doing over half health, and then is going to go down to a critical hit, Zen Headbutt. Boots comes in at that point with the Fake Out, which does pretty good damage considering we're burned, and then the burn damage is going to finish off Boots there, allowing us to bring in Rhinox, and Rhinox takes that close combat. It's super effective, thankfully not the crit, because it would have one-shotted at that point, and he's able to land the Mega Horn. Slow Motion comes in, we land the Mega Horn again, and going to finish it off. So pretty good against Slowkings in this particular episode. And Rhyperior is going to go down to a Shadow Ball there. Then Lol comes in with the knockoff, finishes off Cofagrigus, so that works out pretty nicely, although the Mummy takes effect, so we don't get our Moxie boost. And then Lol once again goes down to a one-shot Dazzling Gleam. Just can't handle the fairy types, apparently. So Thunderbolt gets thrown up there, Deer gets Psychicked in the face, and then Blackavar is going to come in with the Sucker Punch there, finish off the Meowetta. I just was like, you know what, screw it, we're going to go ahead and try for the Sucker Punch without doing the setups. Blackavar is going to go ahead and we're going to try and set up here, and we're trying to predict the Sucker Punches. We end up landing them. He tanks a Psychic there, which is just shocking. And then the Delphox comes in and it's going to set up. We're kind of doing a dance here. And they go for the Shadow Ball, we land the Sucker Punch. They decide to continue setting up Calm Mind, so it becomes a little bit of a dance here. They're trying to stall out my Sucker Punches there. And so I think at this point, yeah, I was just like, okay, well, they're going to keep setting up trying to stall out, so I'm just going to drill run. And I went ahead and did that and finished off. But yeah, Blackavar tanking moves that I wouldn't have expected him to be able to do. And he was definitely the weak link this week in many respects, being a poison type in a psychic gym and things like that. But he definitely pulled his weight in this battle to make up for all the other ones. So thank you so much, Mac, for your battle this week. I really appreciate it. Cool combination of Pokemon there. The Mayaletta especially, didn't see any of those this week besides that one. So that was cool. So thank you so much, Mac. I appreciate your continued patronage, and I hope to see you back in future episodes as well. And now we're ready to go into the gym leader. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go up against Gym Leader Mariana, and Mariana led off with the Delphox. Boots gets a critical hit fake out on the first turn, so already not a great start for Mariana, but the Gallade's going to come in, and he's going to take that pretty well, the U-turn, doing some good damage, but Gallade is going to survive, and he's going to throw up the close combat there, which is going to go ahead and do negligible damage to Blackavar, and lower the stats, but it's lowering defenses, and so that leaves Gallade's attacks completely open there. Boots is going to come in, though, and fake out, finish it off. A throw comes in at that point, so another interesting departure from the Psychic type. And we've got a Fighting type here in the gym, as well as a Fairy type on the team as well. There you go, you guys will see. So actually, there is another Mayaletta here. I guess I didn't remember that, but anyway, still cool to see some of those Pokemon that you don't see real frequently. So thanks anyway, Mac. Mariana throws up, or gets the Brick Break off as we get up the Air Slash. Depth Charge definitely coming out ahead on that exchange, so they're going to switch out into the Bronzong there. Really very little that Depth Charge can do to the Bronzong, but the Bronzong's going to take that time to throw up the Stealth Rocks and things like that. Throw up the Psychic. Again, he's not doing much to us either, so I figure I'll leave Depth Charge in and just kind of whittle away, especially as we now get the Burn going. The Earthquake gets thrown up, which was a misclick there, and Mariana's Bronzong is going to go down to Depth Charge, just winning that battle of minimal damage. But we were able to get the Defog off just in time to get Thunderbolted and have Depth Charge go out. Boots comes in with the Fake Out there, doing pretty decent damage to the bulky Aromatisse. And then the knockoff's going to come in before Boots get Moon Blasted into Oblivion and goes out. Law comes in with the Iron Head there. Unfortunately, not quite enough to kill, and once again, Law gets one-shotted by a Fairy-type move. Deer comes in to clean up there, going to be able to do pretty decent damage. Getting hit with the close combat, though, the Thunderbolt does a little bit more damage and paralyzes this time, fully paralyzing, so we get the Parahacks there. And with the lower defenses from the close combat, is able to finish off the Mayaletta, and then finish off the Throw, and then finish off the Delphox. So they had a couple of Pokemon that were pretty low, which allowed Deer to come in and do a nice cleanup there. But yeah, thank you so much, Mariana, for your battle this week. Really good showing on your behalf, and I appreciate all the effort you guys put in, all of you guys, this week. And so thank you again, Gym Leader Mariana. I appreciate getting the badge, and let's take a quick second here to figure out what you guys need to quickly throw together for this week, and then we'll get going. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to quickly, okay, so we need to actually quickly, we need to darken that out, we need to darken that out, we need to clear this out. So we're ready to go. Alright, so 1 through 6 we have to generate very quickly. Generate, so we get number 1. Okay, and that is a rival battle. Alright, so there we go. We've got a rival battle this week. That'll be a nice refreshing change of pace. So we've got rival battle. It'll be the UU tier because gym number 5 and number 6 are both going to be UU. So it's going to be the UU tier. And none of the rest of this is informational to you guys this week. So, brush off your rival teams. For those of you guys who have done this battle before, update them for the UU tier. I'm going to do my best to update the team as well, because I hadn't gotten around to building the UU team, because I was thinking we were going to have to redo Psychic type this week. So, I hope you guys are able to get in there. If not, this isn't a really important one necessarily, so don't kill yourselves if you guys don't have time to, make a UU team and get in there this week, especially because, this episode's going up late and I'm taking a day off the schedule. If it's after Wednesday lunch, it's not going to make it into Saturday's episode or Sunday's episode. Just with the holiday, I can't do it. So I hope you guys have a very nice Thanksgiving coming up for those of you guys who are in the States. And for the rest of you guys, I just hope you have a great week and weekend, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Well, if I don't see you guys in the battling this week, I'll see you guys next Sunday. Special note that I made in this morning's episode of this series, 13.5. I have updated my Showdown name just because I want to be able to kind of keep track of my stats a little bit better. So I've updated with a clean slate there. So if you go into the social media room, it's the same room that I've always been in, or I have been in for a while at least. You'll be looking for Tortimer the Gray and then a capital Y and a capital T. So Tortimer the Gray YouTube. It's a new Showdown name just for the purposes of tracking stuff. I figured it would be useful to do that because I generally haven't really worried about it too much in the past. I've just done all of my testing and battling on the same account, which isn't really the way you're supposed to do it, really. So look for Tortimer the Gray YouTube. Should be easier to find me this way as opposed to remembering that I'm Old Man Tortoise on Showdown as opposed to Tortimer. And yeah, anyway, I will see you guys. For those of you guys who haven't participated in the past, the information is in the description down below. Make sure to check that out. Showdown is a free battle simulator. Just follow the link down below. You don't even have to download anything. You just pop open the website and you can get going. So if you want to participate but haven't done it before, Showdown's free. Looking forward to battling you guys this week. Had a couple of newer guys this week, especially Nick. Appreciate you jumping in here, even though you haven't in the past. And for all of you guys who have returned, again, I appreciate you guys all the more. So look forward to seeing you guys this week. Again, sorry that this is late, but a special thanks especially goes out to Nougat for showing me how I can actually recover those replays. So that's awesome. It really means a lot that you took the time to go ahead and fix that for me there. And so, yeah, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching your battles from last week. So you guys kicked my butt pretty good. So I'm sure you're pretty happy to see your battles out there. And for those of you guys who were looking forward to the replay or a redo, I apologize that I actually was able to get them. But feel free, if we got time this week, if you want to try out something, a new team that you put together up against me, feel free to do so. Anyway, I will see you guys then. Remember, rival battle in UU. You only have until Wednesday lunch this week, guys, so make sure to get your teams together and connect with me as soon as you can. I'll try not to miss any shifts this week. I sometimes get tied up and I'm not able to get in there, but I will try not to miss any this week. So I will see you guys out there. As always, I'm Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.